crucial piece of information is that the solder always flows to the hottest part of the metal. So we need to make sure that both parts of our join are getting evenly hot, otherwise the solder will zip round to the hotter part and not fill the join. Another crucial piece of information is that it's actually the heat from the metal that melts the solder, not the flame. So we need to ensure that the metal is sufficiently hot to be able to melt the temperature, to be the melting temperature of the solder. This is really apparent when we're soldering a small thing to a large thing. They both have to be the same temperature at the same time for the solder to flow evenly between the two. So if I'm soldering my brooch fitting, my wire for my brooch fitting onto the base of the brooch, the wire is obviously going to get hot much quicker than the base, the bulk of the base would heat up. So the trick here is to melt the solder into little lumps on the end of the wire and then heat the larger piece up to a good temperature to where you can see it starting to glow, and then bring the thin small thing into situ, because it's going to heat up really quickly. If your solder is already melted onto the smaller piece of wire and you bring it into contact with the hot large piece, the solder is going to want to flow towards the hotter piece. So you'll see the solder flow down the wire onto the base piece, and at that point you need to stop heating and hold still. And you need to hold still for longer than you think too. And when it comes to heating the other part of the wire, we need to keep the heat away from the area that we've just melted, otherwise it's going to come undone again. So I'm keeping the heat pointing at the base of the piece and not too much on the wire, because that's going to get hot very quickly. And I'm watching for that solder to flow down, the lump of solder to flow down from the wire into the base piece, and I'm going to stop heating and hold still as soon as I see it flow.